I'm Robin Clevitt. Welcome to the Big Build. In this episode, I'm getting ready to put the final touches on the design for the staircase. Now, it's quite straightforward for me. I've built so many staircases in the past, but there's a lot of people, especially some of my trainees who've worked with me over the years, who have never tackled a staircase, either fitted, made, or even ordered a staircase. So I thought it would be useful to run through some very basic tips about organising or ordering a staircase. Now, quite often I will actually make the staircase, but when I'm doing a project like this, we've got so much going on and we've got to finish at a certain point. For me to then break away and make the staircase, it would just extend the overall build program too much. So what I like to do is have it produced by a specialist staircase manufacturer, someone who can produce pretty much any staircase that you can imagine in pretty much any material. So the company that's working with me here is called StairBox. Now, StairBox I've used on several occasions before because their ordering is very simple. I'll show you the basic process, and also the lead times are really good. They have the capacity of making so many staircases you wouldn't believe. So here are the basics. The first thing you need to understand about a staircase is you need to start on a nice level ground and you need to finish on a nice level floor. So basically you need to make sure that your build process is nice, neat and accurate, because if your floors are running out, it's just going to create problems for you going down the line. Now, there are a lot of rules around the staircases and I won't get into those because I could spend probably half an hour talking all about the finite detail and rules, but that's all available as Part K of the building regs. Now, the basics are this: there is a maximum angle of a domestic staircase, and that's 42 degrees. There's also a minimum going or minimum tread length, that's the actual tread length, and that's 220 millimeters. So those are the two fundamentals that you have to follow. Also, every single rise from bottom to top must be equal. So that means you can't start off by having 200 millimeters in between each tread, if you like, or each rise, and then decide to change to 250. It is just not allowed. So before you think, why don't you just go and buy a standard staircase? Most standard staircases will suit a new build where you set your floors to suit the staircase or to suit a standard flight. In this case, this is a refurbishment. We've had the whole roof off. We've raised it slightly. We've put a thicker floor joist in. We've also re-squeeded the floors, put underfloor heating in. So that's given us a brand new datum everywhere. So the first thing we need to understand is the basics, the finished floor level, sometimes referred to as the FFL. Now we say the FFL to FFL. Now that's a critical measurement. That's the measurement from the floor, finished floor there, to the finished floor here. So generally speaking, if you're having the same floor covering, say carpet here and carpet there, then you just take the finished floor level from the existing subfloor there to, in this case, the screed down at the bottom. In our case, we've got a floating floor. It's a Cardine floor, which is around about 8 millimeters. We have that on this floor. We also have it on the landing. So the same rule applies. I need to find out the measurement from my finished floor there to here. It's also important noting when you measure that, or where you measure that from, you need to understand that if the foot of the stairs starts here and then it finishes, say, above me here, you also need to make sure that you check the level from there to here. It's no good measuring here straight down to get your finished floor level if you're 25 millimeters out of level there. And that can sometimes be the case in an old building where the floors are sort of going all over the place. So what you need to do is start off with a laser level, fire a datum all the way around. So it's very simple: level out, measure down to my datum, record that at 11:57, measure to the foot of the stairs using a spirit level just to keep it nice and plumb. Mark the spirit level so you can stand the spirit level where the stairs is going to sit, the bottom of the stairs is going to sit. We can mark the spirit level here, then you know you're nice and true. Measure from the bottom of the spirit level straight the way up. We've got 1,000 413 millimeters. Add the two together and that gives me my finished floor to finished floor of 2 meters, 570 millimeters. Using that datum, you can say, right, this is where my stairs, in our case, the foot of the stairs is here. We travel up here to a quarter landing. We have another step and then another quarter landing. And then we go up to the main hall landing upstairs. So I will basically plot out where my newels sit and I've got a curtail, like a bullnose tread. I'll set those out there. I'll level across, measure down, and I'll check it in a few places and make sure I've got the exact amount. Then I'll record that. I'll probably get one of my mates to check it as well, because I always think these things are really worth checking in case you write the digits the wrong way around, because we're only human. And then what we need to do is work out how the staircase is mapped out. Now in our case, we've improved the design of this building as we've gone along, as we've been able to correct the datums, straighten things up, give ourselves a little bit more space here and there. And what we've enabled us to do is, originally there was quite a tight winding staircase here. Now what we've got now is a much nicer, more comfortable statement staircase. It's right in the middle of this open plan room, and it's going to be in oak as well, so it's going to look absolutely beautiful. We're going to have a carpet runner going up in the middle all the way up, so you'll read all the oak on the outsides. We're having a glass balustrade which is let into the string and also into the handrail, so it's a really beautiful, how can I put it, it's contemporary but with a lot of traditional features such as the oak. So therefore we have a plan. The plan was fairly straightforward. So you go on the StairBox website, you put in your dimensions, finished floor to finished floor. You then map out where your walls are, and the clever system will actually draw and start building the staircase. It takes a little bit of practice if it's the first time you've done it. For example, there's some terminology: winders, kites, landings, half landings, full landings, quarter landings. And once you've got your head around that and played with it a few times, you can actually physically build yourself the staircase on the website. And that for me is particularly useful, because I can go home of an evening when I can't get a hold of anyone on the phone, and I can spend a bit of time on the computer, come up with my basic design. Then in my case, because I've got a corner right here and I want one of my newels to be rebaited around this corner, so I've got all my newels coming up, my glass will come from this newel to this newel. I then speak with StairBox, and their designers are able to tweak the plans and adjust it to suit your actual application. And it's super straightforward. It's only a phone call. And then they'll send the drawing over and you can then approve it. It's all done on the system, so it's very, very straightforward. Then all we need to do, once we've got our map, our layout, our plan, is press the button, get it ordered. Only takes a couple of weeks for manufacture and delivery, which is fantastic, because a lead time for a staircase can be up to 6 weeks or 8 weeks with some companies. But this company, they have a huge setup. They're very well geared up to accommodate orders in or on short notice, if you like. So basically, I'll run it through again. We start here, we rise up to a quarter landing, we have another step, then a quarter landing, and then we rise up again. We've got our newel posts. For example, this one extending all the way to the floor, which allows me to build a really nice spandrel cupboard underneath with a full-size door at the end. This is hiding all of the underfloor heating for downstairs. And we've been able to map this out as well based on a section drawing and a 3D model sent over by StairBox, which enabled me to say that's exactly where the bottom of the landing is. That's exactly where the bottom of the string is, and that's been super helpful. So there's so much information available to you. Now the other thing is, a staircase is generally a first fix item. What does that mean? That means that you fix it in before it's plastered. In our case, and in so many cases now, what we tend to do is get all the walls ready, skimmed, perfectly true, and fix the new staircase back to a plastered wall, purely because it's oak and it will get covered in plaster even if you try and protect it, and there's people scrambling up and down it, and it's moisture and it's water, and that is not timber's best friend, okay? It is a liability. So I much prefer to prepare all the walls, fix it back against the plastered walls, and decorate it in as per normal. So I prefer that. So anyway, we're gonna be waiting a couple of weeks. The staircase will be delivered, and then we're gonna do a video all about how we're gonna fix it and how we're gonna finish it.